Do you fancy coming and seeing us live? If you're in Blackpool, Friday the 26th of September, come and see us, Pint 2 Shots live. We're going to be on the stage. We're going to be in Viva. Love a bit of Blackpool. Listen, even if you're down there on holiday, you're maybe thinking a wee day at the Pleasure Beach.
We shot the donkeys.
Absolutely. Then you can come and get a wee shot of toll.
Yes, you can,
night.
as long as you bring me a £1 burger.
Correct. Stick a wee 50 pence up his arse and he'll tell you some jokes. So come and see a Pint and 2 Shots live. We've got a surprise guest up our sleeve as well. But we're going to have a whaley of time in Blackpool. You don't want to miss it. For more information, we've put the website link up on the screen where you can buy tickets now, including VIP tickets, which get you a meet and greet. So come and see a Pint and 2 Shots live. That's Friday, the 26th of September. The full of Glasgow likes to go down there. Come and party with us. We're going to have a good all night.
If you can get a picture of yourself with Jamie Vardy in his new Cremonese jersey, I'll buy you 2 tickets for the show.
Welcome to Pint 2 Shots. It's a podcast. It's a football podcast. We're live here at the G4 Claim Studios in Wishaw. We're joined today, the man himself, Mr. Toll.
Hello.
And, as you rightly just put on Twitter, called off the substitute bench. We've got Ewan back again.
Yeah, called off the substitutes bench. Here I am to face this prick across the table for me.
I love it.
I watched the podcast back when I was last in here.
Yes.
You owe me an apology.
But you owe me an apology as well.
don't.
You
I
do,
actually
because
don't.
you weren't wrong.
Okay, we'll get into it a little later,
Right.
but this wee prick owes me an apology.
See if you
Okay.
call me a prick again.
But it's true. I thought your behaviour was shocking.
Did you?
I did, because I came in here as a
Do you know-
guest
do you know what
and
the
you
issue
went
is?
for the jugular when I'd hardly got what I was going to say out my mouth, and
That's
you
because
went for
I knew
me.
it was going to be a pile of shite.
All right, so you're a mind reader now, are you? Very
No,
good.
but I can just tell what you're going to say because you're that fucking predictable, mate.
Okay.
Okay, here we are. Anyway, I was actually going to ask you, Ewan, I was thinking about you today because I was listening to Jim White, and it was funny because yesterday he was talking about how he was giving all this, tough questions for Russell Martin at the press conference yesterday, and it was obviously the fan media that were asking him questions.
The tough questions.
The tough questions.
The questions that fans want to be asked of the manager.
It's new players. So have Hearts, right? All that kind of bang. That you, let's face it, legacy media, inverted commas, they don't do that. So what I was thinking in my head was, this is funny because I know that Ewan back in the day, he used to turn up at press conferences, but and I'm thinking, you never's in your studies.
I know.
You didn't get a degree, Ewan. No, but you, because
See, at the end of the day, though, what you're saying there and what he's saying there,
they never done their studies.
do you know what your studies are as a football fan? Watching football.
No, I know that, but I think Jim White, because he went through it, because no doubt he probably went to the college and stuff like
But
that.
does that make his opinion any more valid?
Absolutely not. I'm sitting listening to Jim White going, yeah, I get it, because because yesterday he backed him, going like, great questions, and this fan media, is it allowed? I'm flat. You've changed your tune.
The reason that he said what he said yesterday is because he thought it was quote unquote the Scottish media who were asking the questions. He didn't know it was the fan media.
So surely if the fans are no good at their job, then he should have known that that wasn't actual journalists that were asking the questions.
Good point.
But also, if it's what a point is as well, if the journalists were in it, if he has a problem with fan media, the reason why fan media exists in the first place was because the journalists aren't doing their jobs right.
Exactly. But you know what else? He doesn't fit in any of the groups because the guy is supported more clubs than fucking Tiger Woods.
So
I don't know, does he support clubs? He just uses them, doesn't he?
No,
You know what I mean?
he's a Rangers fan. He says he's a Rangers fan.
It's funny you say that because
I know that he used to be a Celtic fan, man.
he says
He's Rangers.
He tells me that I tell this story all the time, right?
Here we go, 101.
But I went with some I climbed Ben Nevis with somebody that's very close to Jim White, and they tell me that he was a Celtic fan.
I knew it. I said that. He was a Celtic fan as a kid. Seriously.
I've always known him to be a Rangers fan, and loads of people that I
because-
know of him say he's a Rangers fan.
Because he cuddled up to Murray.
Aye,
Yes.
he was
Remember?
pally with. No, that this is what this person told me, that apparently he was a Celtic fan, but during the 9-0 era, he was going out with the 9-0 team, got quite close with them, and then eventually.
So immediately that makes you realise that he's fucking
no, he was
aye.
So just getting back to the point you were making. So yesterday he thought the questions
He's
were
not
asked.
to be trusted.
So
What?
He's not to be trusted.
You can't be trusted, Jim. You've not done your studies.
so
What's
Jim,
the score, Jerry?
So Jim White on Monday, right, is praising what he thinks are real journalists asking Russell Martin tough questions, right?
Exactly.
He's then clearly informed by somebody, no, Jim, that wasn't like quote unquote the real journalist, that was fan media. He then goes on the radio today, which is Tuesday, and I've got the clip here. I'm going to play it. Can I play the clip? This is on TalkSport.
It's fine. We don't get struck with that.
Go. No, you won't. It's just a bit of audio. This is in the public domain. They posted it themselves. This is Jim White today when he realises it was fan media that were asking Russell Martin the tough question.
Turn your volume up.
Where's that?
Some slight technical issues here.
See these legacy.
It's playing
Let's
there.
go,
Yeah,
Simon.
see these legacy iPhone users.
Right, I've got it now. It's playing. Oh,
Sorry.
Go for it.
His legacy glasses on the
here we go. Jim White today when he realised that the tough questions were from fan media. Right, here we go.
Simon, in that exchange yesterday that we had between a reporter in the post-match and Russell Martin, I'm advised that it turns out to be a member of this so-called fan media these days, part of a podcast. And these days, I think Celtic does the same and Rangers seemingly do it as well. A member of the fan media, or several members of the so-called fan media, get to sit with a real journalist.
You missed the last bit there.
Sorry.
The last bit.
Sorry.
You want to play it again?
A member of the fan media, or several members of the so-called fan media, get to sit with a real journalist.
What did he say that? What was that bit?
Gets to sit with the real journalist.
Wow, that is shite, man. That is shite.
He's never, mate. You've had more columns in the paper than that cunt.
No, but see,
know what I mean?
See, I don't want this to be a pure battering Jim White thing, right?
Right,
but
so can I
see
so
before?
I've got an issue with it, right? And I'll tell you why I have an issue with it. Is that for me, Jim White sat there looking down his nose at fans, at football fans who love their club, spend their money at the football club. They have every right to be there to ask those tough questions of their manager. Jim White is a dinosaur. His best days are gone. He shouldn't be involved in the media. He doesn't understand football fans. He doesn't understand how it works today. He doesn't understand how social media works today. He doesn't understand fans because he sat there in his lofty sky rise building in London looking down at everybody else, and he thinks he's better than everybody else, and he's not. I think, for me, his time in the media is gone, as it was proved in that clip right there. Fan media have every right to be at these media conferences. They have every right to sit there and ask their manager of their football club a question. And if it wasn't for the fan media at these media conferences, you wouldn't be getting asked the tough questions, because I was one of those individuals back in the noughties. I didn't have any qualifications whatsoever.
That's how I was.
I didn't finish high school. I didn't come out with any qualifications. Yet
Are you still going to high school?
And what happened is that I found myself presenting a football show, and I was just a presenter. I was a football fan with a microphone, and I would ask questions. And I always believe that if I'm going to sit here and criticise a manager or a player or a football club or a chairman, then I'm going to put myself in the firing line and go and sit and face that manager and face that player. And what I was hearing on the radio, I was going to take it to them. So I became the fans' voice by asking those difficult questions. Did it get me into trouble? Yes. Did I get banned? Yes. But I thought it was always important that the fans were heard, and I was using my platform for fans to speak their mind. So when I used to go to these media conferences, I wasn't part of the media clique, because I didn't go to university.
That's what I mean.
I didn't go to college. I had no qualifications. And they'd look at me and go, who the fuck are you? Why are you sat here? You're not worthy to sit here. But I tell you what they did love is that I would be the one asking the difficult questions.
Generating headlines.
Generating headlines. And 9 times out of 10, every Friday, whether it be Celtic Park or Murray Park or whatever, any question I asked turned out to be the headline, either in the news, on the telly, or back pages of the newspaper, because they don't have the balls to ask the questions that the fans want answered.
Wow.
And that's why Jim White is a dinosaur.
Can't argue with that. No. Hey, I'll tell you what. Another thing as well, but that could, because I texted Stevie for 4 hours ago, so that couldn't have been easy to do that. It can't be easy to do that. Right, so you know how you said, you asked the questions that the fans really want to know. Was it difficult though? Because you do have to pluck up a lot. You have to fucking strap one on to ask a question like that.
I had a few incidents involving Alex McLeish.
Aye.
So when you used to drive into Murray Park, you drove into the entrance where the youth team would go in, or the reserves would go in. So there was 2 gates, but we weren't allowed to use the main car park. We used the back car park, the media. And when you went in through the back car park, you went through the back of the building. So what would happen is you'd have to walk right through the building, down the corridor at Murray Park. You could see like dressing rooms, and players would be walking up and down, and you'd have to walk past the manager's office at Murray Park. And there was a couple of times over the years that as you'd be walking past the manager's office, McLeish, for example, would be stood at the door saying, all right, as you're heading to the media conference room. And a couple of times he'd go, can I have a word? And he would pull you into his office and he'd shut the door, and then you'd shit yourself. Because it's big Alex McLeish, right? And he'd heard what had been said on the football phone, and he'd heard what I would have said or what fans were saying. And then we would have a disagreement. I would listen to what he had to say, but at the end of the day, he respected the job that I did. I had similar incidents with Martin O'Neill and also with Gordon Strachan as well. But at the end of the day, nobody likes to be criticised.
Right.
And they know when they're in this job, they're going to be criticised, they're going to be lambasted. And I was throwing fuel onto the flames, because I would be then coming to the media conference, bringing those questions, and they didn't like it.
Aye.
But they knew I had a job to do and understood it. They just wanted to clarify what their position was or what the truth is, and then for me to relay that back on the show. And I would, obviously, everyone's got the right to reply, and I'd always look at it from 2 different perspectives. But at the end of the day, the fans is what really matters, because it's them that are the lifeblood of the game. And the fan media that turn up at Celtic, at Rangers, at Hearts and Hibs deserve to be there, have every right to be there. Screw the journalists who might not like it, because it's not your football club, and you don't have the balls to ask the question because you're scared in case you get your wee media pass taken away and you can't get your wee mince pie at half time and you don't get that wee phone call from Peter Lawwell or from the chairman at Rangers. You don't want to lose that little cushy thing that you've got with the manager. You go and meet them for a wee dinner and a wee cup of tea. You don't want to lose that. So they don't ask the tough questions. Don't get me wrong, some journalists do, and there's some that will stand up and ask those questions. But see, generally when I was doing it in the noughties, shite bags.
Aye, shite bags. Do you know, it's funny when you say that some of them did it. I've got to take my hat off a couple of weeks ago to Tom English with Russell Martin, where he did, what have you improved here, Martin? Russell.
Oh, that was good.
That was good, wasn't it? Because it was like, because you don't always hear Tom English at these press conferences, and he just kind of, and I was like, he's got him here. Because I said, Johnny, I mean, that's practically what he said. Ask folk that work here, I don't know. He just...
See, if you don't know the improvements you've made, you've not made any improvements.
No, he couldn't answer the question.
No.
So, have you got a relationship with Jim White? Then I take it then he's no.
No, I've not. I've met Jim White on numerous
If he
occasions.
did, it's fucked now.
And what else? What else I would say, right, is I've defended all fan media here, and what else I would say, and I'd say this to Rangers in particular, because he does turn up at a lot of Rangers events. He'll sit on stage at the SECC and there'll be loads of Rangers fans in the crowd, and Rangers will continue to book him for this left, right and centre. He's no fan of Rangers.
No, he's no.
He's no fan of Rangers. In the sense of, Jim, he's no fan of Rangers in the sense of, if he was, I mean, just listen to the way that he spoke there about fan media. So dismissive.
I don't think
so
it's...
dismissive. Rangers fans need to turn their back on him, and if he is in any way, shape or form getting involved in the club at any event or awards, boycott.
Toll is... Because I was going to say to Toll before this podcast started, I'll tell my Jim White story. No, again, but you've not heard it, but this might sum it up, right? But he used to, you on the radio, right? He would come on every now and again, Jim White, right? On going, we would get a wee blether and say, hey, Grado, how you doing, right? Oh, let's get a carry on. And I went down to Talk Sport. This happened about 5 or 6 times, right? A wee bit of banter back and forth. He was maybe coming on talking about the football and stuff like that, previewing it. And I went down to Talk Sport today. You ever remember when I got hot out of the head with a guitar on Talk Sport?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
I remember that, yeah.
So I'm there in Talk Sport and all the rest of it with Day One interview. And then I see Jim White, and I've never met him before, but I went up to him and I thought, well, might as well, we've never really actually shoot cons and stuff like that. And I went up to him and went, Jim, how you doing, mate? How's it going? He went, I went, he doesn't know. It's Grado. Grado. And he went, nice to meet you, how are you? I and walked off. And I thought, he has no idea who I'm.
No, not got a clue. Despite speaking to you on numerous occasions.
But I'm going like that. I'm going like to Jeff. Here's my mate Jim White. We have a wee blur on the day. You know what I mean? One more meet Jim. He's brand new. Jim, how you doing?
It's a decent impression, every film.
Hey.
You're not my dad, Jerry. Remember?
Listen. See. At the end of the day, right, I'm a dickhead from a housing scheme in Wester Hailes, right? And I was lucky enough to do what the fans are doing today and have every right to do, and I took exception to the way that he dismissed fans and the way that he looked his nose down at them.
It's funny, I thought about you right away.
I just didn't like that at all. I really thought that just kind of sums up who he is, and if I was any Rangers fan that's turning up to any event that he's involved in, I wouldn't go.
I think it goes to back to that quote. I think it was Jock Stein, football without fans is nothing.
Oh man,
right?
I mean that but by the way, that quote gets quoted a lot, and he's bang on the money. I think he's one of the first managers to say something along those lines, because that is so true, and it lives as it did then,
now forever,
and now forevermore. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you look at that, it goes on to Sunday's game there with Celtic and Kilmarnock. Obviously there's a lot of shit going on at Parkhead. The fans know coming in now. I say to you, the only ones that will be there for the Europa games are the ones that have got wains that are their wains are dying to go to the games, and
or
stuff
those
like
that are in a queue waiting to get a season ticket.
Correct, exactly.
like a friendly crowd.
Aye, so it was like, more or less, like that. But on Sunday, there was some of the Celtic fans were in before the game, and obviously a lot of them stayed outside until the 12th minute, right? I think that's just, see the ones with wains and stuff like that are just into the stadium, get ready, avoid all of that nonsense at the 12th minute, everybody try to get in at once. So a lot of people are like, oh, only some of the Celtic fans done it, but I think that people that are commenting on that are kind of trying to put a divide between the actual Celtic support itself into two separate camps.
Yeah, and try and get them battling against each other.
You know, and that's my point that I'm going to make about that is that's where this fan media comes in good. Because I watch a guy, he actually records in here, Ryan 118, and
is that a guy that does the wrestling commentating?
He commentates for ICW.
He's good,
right? And he said, "Listen, this is what's happening. This is what all the supporters clubs have agreed on. There will not be any shouting or swearing at anybody who is considered a scab, right, for getting into the ground before the 12th minute and stuff like that. Everybody to their own, but we are making this conscious protest against what's going on at the club." And that's what I mean by saying the fan media, you maybe wouldn't have got that.
No, you wouldn't
for the actual journalists, you know what I mean?
You wouldn't have done.
And they would have tried to drive that wedge in further and create discord between the actual Celtic fans themselves.
100%.
When everybody and the Rangers fans at the same time all seem to be singing off the same hymn sheet for the first time ever. All the Rangers fans want ready, and all the Celtic fans want ready their sport.
Because they want better.
Exactly.
And here's something that I was going to bring up in regards to fan media, Celtic, Rangers, etc. I've got a lot of time for John, who does Celtic State of Mind. He's in charge of all that.
Paul John Dykes.
Paul John Dykes, sorry. And I watch a lot of their content. Same way, Heart and Hand, I see a lot of their content as well. Battle Fever, I think Battle Fever in here, are they not come in here and do their stuff?
No, they used to. They don't do it anymore.
They don't do it anymore. But the boy, I can't remember his name. I got on really well with the boy. So I'm aware of, and I'm good pals with a lot of the Celtic boys who work on Celtic State of Mind as well, and they've got a place within the media when it comes to connecting the fans, because they know the fans, they're in with the fans, they know what the fans are thinking, and they can also be, as you were just alluding to there, Toll, is to make sure that they don't step out
the voice
of reason. And you don't get that within the media, because the media can
they don't want voice of reason,
but they like to stoke the flames.
They bridge that gap, that you're saying there, you know what I mean? So 100%. Between the actual real fan and the club.
Yeah.
See fan media, I'm pretty sure they need to pay for a media pass, so they deserve to be there just as much as anybody else.
In fact, I would probably say more, because when you're talking about the Daily Record and all that, they don't pay to get in there, do they?
No.
You know
I don't know how that works though.
Well, it was
because I don't know.
Guesties.
When I was there, I went to media conferences for 11 years every weekend. We never had to pay for that access.
Surely it's a free press though. You can't. There's a certain section of the press. If you're charging them,
I don't think they are. I don't think that's the case.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you are charging them, then you might not be going to get the actual truth. Do you understand what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Let's say, for example, like we talk about the YouTube channel. See if somebody goes to review an item. But they get it for free, or they get paid to review it. You're getting a biased review.
A biased review because you paid the money.
That's what I'm saying. If you've paid the money to go in there as a journalist,
that's.
Yeah.
But do you know what I've also got? Here's an observation as well, right? So obviously in this day and age, because I've got to put my hands up. I don't get my Fitbit news these days for the news. No. I'll go on Rangers Review. I'll listen to them in YouTube every other morning. I'll listen to them. I'll listen to Heart and Hand.
I agree with you.
Right, but listen to this, right? Have you noticed though, for all the journalists might have they might be a bit bitter towards that or think, look, down on it. In the last couple of years, how many podcasts have now crept up for the actual papers themselves?
Look at them.
The journalists are now sitting on Zoom.
All the clubs have got their own podcasts.
So now they, so they can turn around and have they might not like it, but look what they're doing. They're practically replicating what fan media do now.
I agree exactly what you say. As a Celtic supporter, I get all my news for Heart and Hand.
What's your name?
End the podcast there. Brilliant. Just going back to what happened at Kilmarnock, this is a question for you, and I'm on the outside looking in as a Hearts fan, right? Mm-hmm. And this, as you say, it's really interesting that you've got Rangers and Celtic at the moment who are kind of aligned at not liking what's going on at their clubs right now, and that they could be better, should be better, and should do better. Mm-hmm. My question to you is this: what did that Killie achieve? Do you think the Celtic hierarchy look at that and go, fuck, that's us too? I don't think they care.
I don't think they do.
Right, see, I agree with what you're saying there, right? But in my opinion, see if they want it to make a real impact, they need to do it at a home game and an important home game.
It's hard to do that though.
Exactly.
Okay. So again, I'm going to ask you because Rangers are in a different situation just now where they're not yet protesting like Celtic fans are and planning other protests and to boycott Europa League tickets and all that.
There was a thing came out last night. Funnily enough, about Rangers.
All right. But my next question to that then is this: so you're not back in the team then? This is not the team's fault.
Well, that's the whole point here, right? They're the 12th man. They're part of the team. And if you take them away, the rest of the team suffers.
But then what you've just said there about we need to do it in a big game, surely that's the worst time to do it.
Well, I don't know. I think it's the best time for the most impact, but the worst time for the team.
Because see, at the end of the day, when it comes to anyone in life, right, whether it be a business, particularly any type of business, any negativity around that business, the only time they begin to care is when they start to lose money.
That's it.
Exactly.
When you hit them in the pocket,
I think
that's when action happens. So I agree that you've got to do something, and I think it's the right intention, but what damage is it actually doing?
Well, the thing is, I know this is going to sound petty as fuck, right? But I think, for what I gather, is they're not buying anything inside the stadium.
Right, okay, so that's good.
When they go to the game, they're not going down to the kiosk, they're not getting their pie, they're not getting their burger.
Merchandise gets hit.
I mean, the last time I went to a game, right, I went and I get a bottle of water, a drink, and 2 chocolate bars, and it was £12.
So let's do the math on. Okay, let's do the math on that. Say 20,000 fans did that. How much is that?
20,000 times
12 quid.
So 100,000.
See, the problem is, but they've got your season ticket money already.
But there's other ways to do it.
That will hit their pocket.
They've not been buying Europa League tickets either, which is 50,000 times 135 pounds.
Is it going to have the effect that you and the Celtic support want? Ultimately,
I see if I'm part of that board. I know that they're obviously filling their pockets and stuff like that. It's hassle you don't need. These people are generationally rich. Peter Lawwell is one of the most rich. Well, he's probably the richest man in Scottish football outside the 49ers. Mm-hmm. People, do you know, maybe Dermot Desmond as well. But if they don't need the hassle.
Right. So
somebody tried to burn that guy's house down not long ago.
But do you know? I think the Celtic board would have looked at this on Sunday, right? Fair play. The 12-minute thing. Some Celtic fans stayed out. some fans went in the stadium. But see, at the end of the day, was there no some fans running on the pitch in the 93rd minute or celebrating literally a signing that the board made that Celtic fans were literally complaining about? So by the end of it,
they're forgotten.
It's forgotten. It's completely forgotten about.
It's absolutely not forgotten about. What they're doing there is supporting the team. It doesn't matter where that guy came from.
But if you read social media the last couple of days, they've definitely not forgotten about the board.
It doesn't matter who's scored that goal. It could have been MD that scored that goal. They would have got the same.
Did the Celtic board need to offer a sacrifice? Did they have to get rid of somebody to alleviate the growing crisis within the support?
Well, looking at what Rodgers has been saying, Rodgers' interview about the leak. Now there's been a leak. The Celtic team has been leaked the last 2 weeks.
It's the same with Rangers, by the way.
Hours and hours before kick-off. Mm-hmm. And they interviewed fan media, asked the question again, what about these leaks? And he came out and he said, I was very disappointed. He knows that it's someone within the club, right? Obviously it's someone within the club. And he would have expected them to be dealt with.
Right.
And they've not been dealt with. So he knows who it is.
And can I just remind everybody that was fan media that got us that headline, because if it wasn't for fan media, we don't have that headline, and we don't know that bit of news. And Brendan Rodgers was truthful with the fan media, told the fans what was going on. But do they have to get rid of somebody?
It's going to...
Because you can't get rid of them all.
It's going to have to be a member of the board, a high-ranking member of the board, or it's going to have to be Brendan Rodgers.
Is it Nicholson that needs to go? Because it's him that's ultimately 100%. In charge when it comes to signings and doing deals.
But is he the one that's in charge? What I'd have you have a look at, right? Of the last, I think it's the last 23 years or something like that, Peter Lawwell hasn't been the chairman of Celtic for 2 seasons, 18 months or something.
I was away for a wee bit.
Is it the rugby fella that took her?
Yep, right. Now, see when Peter Lawwell was away, look at the signings we made. Look how quickly we made them at the start of the transfer window. I can't remember the guy's name that came in, but it was a rugby guy, like you said. He apparently authorised the signing of Juranovic.
Right.
Against the rest of the board's wishes. Just let Celtic go out, let him go in and sign him.
And you got 25 million for him.
And then, I think it was 15 or something like that.
No, it was more than that.
No, Juranovic.
The fullback?
Aye, he was the reason that...
Grant, can you check that, mate?
Check how much. I don't think it was 25 million. But
the guy was Dominic Mackay.
Dominic Mackay, that's it.
Dominic Mackay.
Yeah.
Now,
can you check Juranovic, please, mate?
Now, after the Juranovic thing, Mackay was at the door, remember? So they've obviously, the rest of the board have went, well... get to fuck. And that's when Walls come back in. Now, when Mackay was there, he signed Kyogo, or the Japanese boys and all that.
Yeah, that was Mackay.
It was at the start of Ange's first season.
Right.
Yeah.
So him, mate, see if you go back and look at that, they get Jota, they get Carter Vickers,
yeah.
They got all of that. They went out and they spent money. They got in the players that Ange wanted. Right? And look what they went on.
Did he also sell Frimpong? Get the money for him as well, possibly?
I think so, possibly. But it was
another good deal.
It was around that time.
Because we brought in Juranovic to replace Frimpong.
Yes. Do you want to know the I'm on transfer market? What I kind of use for the transfers is 8.55 million.
For Juranovic?
I didn't think it was anywhere near.
That's Euro. Are you thinking about Frimpong then?
That's Euro.
What was I thinking?
Maybe no, because then he ended up. Where did he?
He went 25 million.
Germany.
And then he get the liver, but then he
25 million for Jota. We get.
Is it Jota? I'm thinking of maybe
11 million for Frimpong. I think plus add-ons. So we've had a few bob off him as well. If he's went to Liverpool. But what I'm saying is that you're touching on it there. Is Nicholson the one that needs to go? I don't think Nicholson's pulling any strings at Parkhead. I think he's a puppet.
Really?
Aye, absolutely.
Well, then he's somebody they could get rid of.
Exactly.
The fans would be going, great.
See, as long as they're still bringing in yes men all the time, you'd do well at Parkhead. Imagine him in at Parkhead. I don't fucking think so. we're signing this striker and that's all it's fucking about it, okay? We'll sign this. It'll go viral.
It'll go viral.
See, I know I can see here that we want to talk about the weekend, right? But see, before we get to that, right, I want to go back to the previous podcast when I was here as a guest. I was a guest and he was rude.
Oh, here we go. Have we not made up?
No, we haven't, because I thought you were rude. I didn't realise how rude you were until I watched it back, and I kind of alluded to that at the start of the podcast. And you were screaming and shouting. You got really angry. You got upset. You were
I was in a bad place.
You were slamming the fucking desk and everything. And I was just asking you questions, but you took it to heart. And you were banging.
You know the questions to ask.
Right. Well, you were banging on about that Celtic need to improve. We need this signing. We need that signing. And Grado and I were trying to tell you that
you're trying to lump him in with you.
No. But what we were trying to say was that despite your issues and problems with the lack of players coming in, they should have been. And fair play to you, you did agree that that team should have been good enough to beat Almaty, and that then rests on the shoulders of Brendan Rodgers. I think we'd all agree with that.
Aye.
But ultimately, my point to you during that debate and that argument was it doesn't matter how much money you can spend in the market, because it's not going to improve you enough to take you where you ultimately believe you can go. Now, what I'm going to bring up here, you're not going to like. So Ange Postecoglou comes through the door. They back him, and they get you players like Kyogo and Maeda and Matt O'Reilly and Jota. What did you do in Europe?
I can't remember.
You did nothing. You did nothing.
I can't remember.
You did nothing, but you spent good money and you had a brilliant squad, but you did nothing in Europe. Ange failed in Europe.
Do you know what?
So,
I agree with you there, right? But what I would say is the quality of the football that was played is night and day.
But you're not just talking about quality football here. We're talking about where you ultimately believe you should be, which is at the top table, dining with Man United. No, well, not fuck Man United, but Liverpool, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and I get that. But under Ange, who I think has been one of the best managers in Scottish football since the days of Martin O'Neill and Walter Smith, etc., etc. I think he's been that good. In fact, I think he's better than Brendan Rodgers. It's just my opinion, watching the football and the way that he conducted himself. But he failed in Europe. Right. And he failed in Europe with a brilliant team and a brilliant squad, and money was spent on it. And then you start going off your head and off your rocker because the board haven't spent any money. But the kind of money that you need to spend to get to where you want to be, those players aren't coming here. They're not.
Right, do you want me?
But they're not. Now, see the boy Dolberg you tried to sign that you missed out on and he went back to Ajax. Was there a Premiership club interested? No. Was there a Spanish club? No. Was there a German club?
See, the point that you're making here is a good point.
You are at a level as Celtic Football Club. You are second tier when it comes to players. Right. You can't be in the top tier. That second tier are only going to take you to a certain point.
I would argue that Celtic and Rangers aren't second tier. I would say that they're probably below second tier.
But what I will also say, and I hate saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway, is that top tier footballers don't come to Celtic and Rangers because of the league. If Celtic and Rangers were in the Premiership, for example, Brendan Rodgers doesn't leave Celtic for Leicester. Steven Gerrard doesn't leave Rangers for Aston Villa. They stay at Celtic and Rangers because those clubs are bigger than the clubs that players leave for and managers leave for. The problem that Celtic and Rangers have got, they're in Scotland, but they're bigger clubs than, for me, 80%, 90% of the clubs down in England. So I get your frustration. I get why you're annoyed because you've got the money there. But the problem is, what's the point in spending shitloads of money to take you to where you already are?
What can you say to that? Do you know what I mean? What can you say?
Let's talk about the weekends.
Wait a wee minute. Can I just point something out? Right now, going by the financial fair play thing. Right now, see if Celtic were to spend the money that they've got to the limit of what they're allowed to by the financial fair play.
Yes,
Celtic could spend now. Please do not come for me if this is incorrect, right? But I'm certain it's right. Celtic could spend up to £70 million.
No, I've read that. I think you're correct.
This summer,
I think you're right.
They spent what, 8 million or something.
But going back to my final point there, to just stay where you are.
I bet we're not. We're regressing. I know we're top of the league,
and you will win the league,
right? With that hat on, I wouldn't be fucking.
I'm being realistic here.
But, right, you're being realistic. Fair enough. If we're going to be honest, Celtic should go on and win the league. Right now, it's then you've got. You're saying there about to stay where you are. Right. All right, we're going to go on and win the league. Right, but as a football club and as an attractive viewing option, we're regressing.
Okay.
Now, what you're saying there is quite correct. You need to put that down to the manager, right? Because he's maybe not got all the tools in place that he wanted.
He's got Angie's tools that he's ruining.
But you've got to do the best with the tools that you've got in your toolbox.
Yeah, but a lot of those players that he had when he first came through the door belonged to Ange Postecoglou, and they've never played anywhere near like Ange Postecoglou's team.
And that goes back to my point that I was talking about. I would much rather watch Ange's football than watch what they're watching.
And you're not going to get an argument from me on that. Yeah. I think where Celtic have fucked up in that summer transfer window, knowing that they were going to be in the Europa League after what happened against Almaty, I've always said this and I've always believed this, that a Brendan Rodgers team as they play would have a brilliant chance of getting to the latter stages of the Europa League. And I think they will do well. Well, I thought they would do well. I'm not so sure that what you signed with Iniacho, etc. Will you get out the group? Yeah, I think you'll be... You could still finish top 8 and not have to worry about a playoff. But at worst, you're going to get a playoff. You'll be fine.
No.
But the problem is, does the board then back you in January to have a right tilt
at the Europa League?
At the Europa League.
Well,
will they back you? Will they back you?
And that is the $64,000 question, or whatever you call it. Yeah. You're absolutely right, because Rodgers has then backed them into a corner.
Oh, I disagree with him.
Fuck up. Wait a minute, we're going to go on to the week. We're going to go on to the weekend's games in a minute.
I can't wait in this fucking hat.
Yeah. No, man.
I can't even remember what the question was.
Doesn't matter. But before we move there.
Okay.
So my little kind of spiel there about
Ewan.
Just to end up where you already are. Doesn't matter how much money you spend. You just end up where you are. So that was me clarifying why you went off your rocker a few weeks back when I was here. So you're going to apologise. Just apologise, mate.
I'm not going to
apologise
to you because I wasn't wrong.
No, you were. No, you were.
Please don't make me lose my temper.
No, because you just turned into Grado and says, well, I'm not got an answer for that.
I heard what he was saying about you before you turned up.
Don't be spinning any shite here, because that's not what I am.
No, it's not what you are.
I just think you were bang out of order. That was all. And I think
my original point back, you're going to shut up for a second, man.
Grant, I'll be honest, right? Because you were an observer of that a couple of weeks ago, right? Do you think he owes me an apology? I was a guest in here and I was just asking questions and he fucking blew his top. I'm being serious.
Grant's getting off feet, look.
I'm being serious.
You watch your step here, brother.
The double champ apologises to absolutely no one.
So we're going to agree to disagree then?
Right, well, agree to disagree, but what I want to tell you is my point about all of that was the money should have been spent prior to the Champions League qualifiers to then accumulate more money. Okay.
Right, okay. Right, well, where do you want to go then?
I want to go fucking home.
Let's talk about the Rangers and Hearts game. You text me at full time. Rangers 0, Hearts 2.
The first text I sent was to him, and it was get it right, fucking up.
But listen, but he sent that. I was actually quite happy for him. I couldn't give it. I reckon I would be very surprised. See, get into that game. Come on, Derek McInnes is a guy who knows how to play against Rangers. I think he's the first manager ever to beat Rangers with 4 clubs. First manager. Right. Now, where do you start with Rangers? It is a fucking absolute joke. There is absolutely nothing about that Rangers team. There is nothing. There is absolutely nothing. There is no... They don't look coached. They look as if they've been flung together. That first 45 minutes on Saturday was an absolute joke.
Hearts could have been 5-0 up at half time.
I actually think Hearts should have scored more than 2 goals.
We were excellent.
I tell you what, see that Claudio of Braga. What a
Braga's brilliant. Who's the right back?
Milne. We're not going to see this time next year. Braga won't be with us, unfortunately. We're going to sell him for a good few million.
This is before you've got your Brazilian fella to come in as well, isn't it?
Oh, he's played.
He played against Livingston.
Right, okay.
So, can this camera catch this video? Yeah. This is a video that Grado sent me, and it was just him and his face and how he was feeling at 10-5 on Saturday.
With a Wayne on the flare with the jigsaw.
No, I've just got your face here. Here we go. You watching? Do you want me to play your Wayne as well? There we go. So he sent me this video. He was just like showing around what was going on in his house.
Just depressed.
And then
honestly,
really depressed.
But, I mean,
and then I sent him this video.
Yeah, Ewan, it was simply depressed.
Ewan, let me ask you a question, but right? Hearts go into that game. They've not won at Ibrox in 11 years.
11 years.
You must have been confident.
Really confident.
One, you must have been confident, and two, were you surprised at how easy it was? And actually, three, were you surprised at how bad Rangers really are? Rangers are in a bad way to the point where it's a joke. I was
really confident we'd get a result. If I'm being honest with you, I didn't think we'd win. I think we'd got a draw. And if somebody'd said to me on the Friday before the game, or even the Saturday morning, if I give you a draw, would you be happy with that? I went, fucking right, I'd be happy with that. And I get down the M8 and back to Tynecastle with the draw. Happy days, still unbeaten, still would be top of the league until Celtic played on the Sunday. So I'd have taken a draw. But then to go on and win the game 2-0, and to win it in the style that we won it was magnificent. It was unbelievable. That is, and I don't want to put any pressure on McInnes, but that reminded me of a Hearts team under George Burley in 2006.
I agree with you.
Right? And it was a Rangers game against Hearts at Tynecastle. Wow. And I've got the same feeling. I was in the media box that day, right? And there was a really good feeling about Hearts. We'd just gone unbeaten.
Was that Scatchell's debut?
No.
Against Rangers?
No, Scatchell. This was like 4 or 5 games in, and we'd already beaten the likes of Dunfermline.
Because he's went 11 unbeaten and he's drew with us,
correct.
Remember?
And Scatchell scored 1-1, scored in striking Celtic. So the big test for us, right, before the Celtic game was Rangers were coming. And Alex McLeish was in
Rangers
charge.
have been coming for years, mate.
I know, but Rangers were coming, and we were top of the league, right? And obviously the test is Celtic and Rangers, and the feeling that I've got with McInnes and what happened at Ibrox is the same feeling that I had when I was in Tynecastle when Hearts beat Rangers by a 1-0. It was a corner at the school end of Tynecastle. It was whipped in, and Bednar was there with a header.
Roman Bednar,
and we won the game by a 0-0. And I thought, this could be our year.
And this is the way you're feeling now.
And I have that same feeling now. Now, I still think...
Literally just said a minute ago, no.
I have that feeling. But what I mean is a feeling as in we are there. And we're going to stay there. And we're not going anywhere.
I've got to be honest with you. That could have been... And 80% of the SPFL teams that turned up on Saturday and get a result against Rangers. That's how bad they are.
But like Ewan says, it's the way that they played against you.
Yeah. The high press.
Do you know what I mean?
Shankland shit. I need to say this to you right now, right? But this is where I go at that. What the fuck have we done? Right?
You spent 20 million on strikers.
Shite. We've spent 20
million on strikers.
Listen, we've not spent...
Shite.
No, I can't call them shite because I'm not going to judge any of these players until Russell Martin's at the door. That's how I feel, right?
We could have Harry Kane up front and it wouldn't matter.
100%. It doesn't matter. That's what I keep saying, right?
Because the striker gets no service.
It doesn't matter who's...
Like, Milowski was running about like a stolen motor. He was honestly didn't know what he was. He was
they
just
don't know
running
what
about.
To do. They don't know. They don't know what to do.
You're right. Milowski doesn't like fucking the same player.
But listen, I'm not judging Milowski right now.
I know.
100%. As MD could be playing up front for Rangers right now, and it wouldn't make a lick of difference. But what is frustrating is, look, man, we've got a guy who is, we've got Patrick Stewart and we've got Kevin Felwell, right? Who in the summer, whole new brand project to rebuild the Rangers team. Wait, you shaking your head at?
They're fucking at it, the two of them.
Listen, don't I know it? It's staring at them right in the face. There's Shankland, right? I've said for years,
you have.
Rangers, he was there for free, for nothing in the summer. I would have signed him. I would have made him captain. I would have signed another couple of Scottish-born players or players that have played in the SPFL that know what it takes to play for Rangers.
This one was you brought Arfield back.
Nah.
To go to the games, aye.
But you might have brought him back for the backroom staff and to be part of that kind of like...
But you're going to laugh at me here, right? But it's as easy as this, right? We've hired Russell Martin, who, let's be honest, right? He's fucking bullshitted his way through these interviews. He's been fun out. How many occupations is there in Britain where you see people that are in the top job and they go, they've actually just chowed the lugs off the top dogs to get where they are. That's what he's done. It's
the Prime Minister of the country.
Right, exactly.
Did you see the thing about, he was talking about the anxiety of the players?
He sees it everywhere.
Right, and it's Southampton and Swansea, there was quotes where he
MK Dons.
I said that they say the exact same thing.
They don't like him.
He's fucking anxiety daft.
I don't think any of these players like him. I think he's got an aura about him, and I know you'll laugh at me, and I've said it 2 weeks before, but even the wee tiny things like no wearing the suit, he can get away with no wearing the suit. I think the players are calling him an arsehole behind his back, and go. And I don't think he's got the. I don't think he can communicate to the players.
Was
But what I'm saying-
So what you're saying is he doesn't have the gravitas to be a Rangers manager.
He doesn't.
Doesn't carry the respect that he deserves to be a Ranger manager.
See all this like he's got a style of play and all that shit. Who the fuck it is the McInnes? Get McInnes.
Fuck off.
I know you're saying that now, but they were staring at us in the
Before
face.
he was at Hearts,
people
he's
laughed.
screaming out for him.
People laughed, but you put McInnes there at Ibrox with Shankland.
Aye.
Right? And
so-
a Scottish spine, then it's going to do a hell of a lot better than what Russell Martin.
So what do you have then? Your spine, right? Let's talk about your spine. You've got Lawrence Shankland, you've got Connor Barron,
Bashiri, Finlay.
Bashiri. you love Big Rocky Bashiri, don't you?
Right? And we missed him. There wasn't too much said about him last season, but there, your case, you're Mr. Watson for Kelly.
Aye, what a header.
What, right?
What a header.
Right, if that's Walter Smith, and I believe that Derek McInnes probably bases quite low in his managerial skills and Walter.
What was one of Derek McInnes' first signing for Hearts?
And by the way,
Finlay from Kilmarnock. He knew exactly what he could offer. And for me, he's been one of Hearts' best players, if not our best player.
3 goals in the first 2 weeks.
Right, a big, hardy, ugly
Strong
defender. I don't mean ugly as in aesthetically, but I mean an ugly fucking...
It does the ugly side.
Do you know
of
what
the
I mean?
game.
Ugly side of the game. I think he's never going to sign for Rangers. I don't think.
Sure,
I think
he played for Celtic, didn't he?
Right, okay.
And Halkett has been outstanding since his injuries.
And who's it? Who's the guy that?
Milne from Partick Thistle.
Milne, right? Players like that. See that team. I would take that.
So
team.
you've got a core of Scottish players, and you throw in Braga from Portugal. Do you know what I mean? And players like that. And Kira Zikas, who's come in as well as a winger.
I like Bingingham.
Biningham's brilliant. He was at Everton. We got him.
Player,
What I was going to say, right, in regards to your point about Shankland and everything. What Rangers and Celtic were really good at that used to fuck me off, and for all the Hearts, you would take the best players from the rest of the league as your core, and then you would surround that core of Scottish players with stars.
Yes,
and
2 or 3.
That wee bit of gold
sprinkle
dust. A wee bit of sprinkle. But you had the heart.
Like what you say, like when you look back on it, Celtic kid Cadeti, Van Hooydonk, Tom Di Canio, Richard Laudrup, Gascoigne, Alberts.
But you had Peter Grant,
and you had Lambert and people like that.
Ian Ferguson
and Tom Boyd and people like that.
Yes, that has always been the structure.
But this is what I couldn't understand, right? So a couple of things that you've picked up on there. When I used to work on a previous podcast, and I've got some really good friends who work within Aberdeen, right? And Aberdeen, the board, this is what I understood, Aberdeen, the board...
Would never sell to Rangers?
No. Well, I'm getting back to McInnes.
Sorry, mate.
That McInnes, for me, is one of the best managers in Scotland, right? He's really good at what he does, and he's always done extremely well with any football club that he's going into. Bristol City might argue a wee bit on that, but when he first went in, he did a really good job there, right?
Let's talk about what he's done in Scotland, though, when you're looking at that.
Oh, no, totally.
Do you know what I mean? He's been... Every club he's been in, he's been a success.
So what happened, right, is that Aberdeen had a board meeting, and in the board meeting they voted unanimously to bring Derek McInnes back from Kilmarnock, and that was at the point when Neil Warnock came in as kind of like caretaker. It looks like, I think it's so.
Remember that?
But do you know why it's so? And I can't.
Came to Aberdeen to play at Ibrox.
So there were 2 stipulations that Derek McInnes put to the Aberdeen board that had to happen, and I'm not going to say what it is because it involves people within the club who are still there,
right?
And they rejected it, but had they not rejected it and done what was right for the club, because look at the mess they're in right now.
Yeah, I know.
Right, they're bottom of the league, and they've had 6 wins in 28.
They've not scored a goal.
Not scored a goal this season.
He's got too much credit in the bag with the Scottish Cup. But
he would definitely have been in there right now had they accepted his conditions to come back, right? And there were 2 conditions that for me would have been like, yeah, fucking no problem, in you come, mate.
Really?
But the big boss at the top who supplies them, I went, nah. You know,
she wants to stop recording.
I'll tell you who it is. I'll tell you who it is. But then, so he missed out on going back to Aberdeen. My fear now is this, and this is a legitimate fear that I've got, and I think some Hearts fans have got the same fear, is that if Hibs get a result on Saturday in the League Cup against Rangers, I don't think Martin survives that. I think that will be it. It will be done. He has to go out there and you have to win comfortably.
You've got to feel that Rangers are going to bring him.
They're going to. The fear is that they'll go after McInnes.
Can he?
No, but I think they might. But my biggest fear is not just Rangers, is that if Steve Clarke fails in November to get Scotland to the World Cup,
going to end up the
he's going to end. No, well, Steve Clarke will know that McInnes then becomes the next Scotland manager.
Oh, there they have it.
Good
So if he doesn't go to Rangers, if Martin gets sacked in the next couple of weeks and he doesn't go there, I think he ends up the new Scotland manager.
I don't know, because I think, like I said last week, I think Scotland need to go in a completely different direction, man.
I think
Hey, we're not talking about Scotland, man. Fuck. I'm not talking anymore about Scotland now.
You make videos for them.
How do the people see? How do people?
Come and get your tickets! Come and get your tickets from the SFA! And you're sat there in a wee cafeteria drinking a cup of tea.
Exactly.
Come and get your tickets!
I don't mean
the
about
World
that.
Cup qualifiers have started
Exactly.
and we're playing Belarus. Come and get your tickets!
No, what he does is he goes like, "Come and get your tickets." Who are we playing against? Belarus. That's what he does.
This is easy.
In fact, he doesn't even say who we playing. He says who are you playing against.
She's like that. Come and get your tickets. Who is it? Who is it? The boy says Belarus. He goes, Bulgaria. No, fucking Belarus. Belarus. Who else is that? Denmark. I'm Denmark. Yay! Come and get your tickets. Let's not talk about Scotland. He's a fucking cheerleader for Scotland.
No,
By the
what I
way,
mean is that
stealing a wage. Fucking stealing a wage.
Oh, that's so funny, mate. That is so funny.
No, we're not talking about Scotland, but what I'm saying is that Derek McInnes has done a great job everywhere he's went. I would not be surprised, this is my fear, is if they get rid of Russell Martin, that they might consider someone like Derek McInnes who would stabilise that club just like that.
100%, but he's no. I don't think he doesn't. Right, it's already debate. Me and Toe had we never had a set to, but remember you were talking about how McInnes turned them down in 2017. Don't think that's quite the story. There's stories that apparently they just stopped phoning them. They were ready to go. They had come down and stuff like that. You think it was rubbish? And then there's also the story that Walter told them not to take it.
He was in a hotel. He was in a hotel in Glasgow, and I got a lot of stick for this because I'd called it from the beginning right through until he turned them down, and I was getting all this information from said person I know. So I was getting all this information, and McInnes was in. It was all agreed, all done. He was sat in a hotel room in Glasgow, and he received a phone call from, was it Milne at the time? The big...
Stuart Milne.
Aye. And whatever that conversation was, he changed his mind.
Right, so well, there's Grant, you've obviously heard this stuff as well about how they literally stopped phoning him.
No,
you've heard
it's
that
not
one?
that. Honestly, Grant, it's not
that's
that.
a story that he
No,
told.
I've not heard that.
Aye, that's what I've heard.
No, it's
Apparently,
not. Milne phoned him.
He's
and
not to be trusted.
right.
Milne phoned him, and Milne said something, and he ended up staying.
But
at
either way, you can understand why at that time you would have turned down
Oh, 100%.
right Rangers. But
I get it. I get
aye.
it. But I listen, and I'm going to put my hands up here because somebody's going to say something in the comments, and it's true. I called Derek McInnes when he rejected Rangers a bottler, that he couldn't handle working with a big club like Rangers.
you wanted to go viral.
No, I just thought, well, you don't see when somebody like Rangers or Celtic knock on your door. You don't get an opportunity often in your life,
But-
you're an idiot to turn that down. Whether it was the right time or no is irrelevant. You don't knock back Rangers or Celtic,
But also, come on, he's not. What age is he?
but you
He's
don't,
not a-
Grado. You don't. I'm sorry, you
At
don't.
that time, it was obviously disappointing because whatever happened, it felt like at the time.
I told you
safe
what
pair of
happened.
hands. Well, I know, but I don't know.
Milne had a conversation with him the final night before it was all going to be announced and agreed, and he knocked him back.
Hey, let's talk about the bigger picture here about Rangers, about how we've signed, again, we were talking about last week, this player for upwards of £10 million from a guy who signed him, who was with the team 6 months ago, working in the same job down there.
He never got a game for them.
Never got a game, never scored a goal. When we've got people like Lawrence Shankland, but again, I'm arguing myself here because it doesn't matter if Lawrence Shankland was in that Rangers team right now. It's not making one bit of difference. And then again,
Well, I
it
disagree.
feels like
I disagree with you. Because remember what I used to say about Joe Hart? See, if you take somebody with that sort of, I wouldn't say gravitas,
No.
that sort of aura about him, like Lawrence Shankland, that's a successful striker. He's Scottish. He knows what Rangers are about. If you put him into that dressing room, that can have such a positive impact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
I don't think what you're saying there, having him in the team wouldn't make a blind bit of difference. I think it would.
Nah, I don't. Rangers
Right now,
there's only
with this, with him in charge, with him at the helm, mate, it's a
Right,
lot. We're a
there's
laughing
only
stock.
two teams in the league that get lower XG than Rangers. Rangers are.
It's Dundee and Motherwell, isn't it?
No,
Dundee.
Motherwell.
Motherwell
Livingston.
got a high XG.
Livingston.
Sorry. Livingston, yeah. What I would say about Lawrence Shankland is that I'm fucking delighted with Hearts player.
I mean, he held up. He played amazing on Saturday,
He was
man.
so
It's like
good. It was
shit hot.
By the way,
he was shit hot.
It was like he was saying, "Here's what you could have had."
Yeah, exactly.
Look at what
Exactly.
you could have won.
Aye, look at what you could have won.
And I have to.
And the way he stood at the flags, have to say, "Fuck kids."
Aye. But also, I mean, there's so many things we could talk about here.
Well, what about the VAR decisions?
Dog shite. Absolutely dog shite. I was pissing my... Do you know who was that? The Hearts commentators were pissing themselves. Lawrence Shankland scores that goal, doesn't he celebrate it and goes, I've won board it. And I'm saying to Steph,
He
I goes,
actually said
I
that to
bet
the boy
you,
when he was
I
celebrating.
goes, this is Scottish football. I goes, I bet you they turn around and give that goal. I goes, what's this?
Why should it be
and they
disallowed?
fucking done
Why
it.
should it be disallowed?
Come
Why should
off
it-
it,
come
you.
on,
Wait.
mate. Come on, mate. You see him, he puts his horn out.
I'm not denying that.
Right.
Go and tell me why that should be disallowed.
Because it's a handball.
Right. So you know the rules when it comes to handball.
Are you going to tell me here then what?
No, you tell me why that goal should have been chopped off.
Because it hit
Go and
the
tell
part
me
of his
why.
body. Because it hit his arm. In football,
Right.
if the ball hits
Right.
your arm, that is called a handball, Ewan.
And he's
Stop trying to make a cunt of me.
So what you're trying to do, you're re-refereeing the game, okay?
Right, okay.
So the referee...
You called it yourself. You said that initially. No, you said on Saturday it was never a handball. Then you changed your mind after a few beers.
Grado, wait a wee second, right? You're not letting me finish what I'm going to say, right? You clearly don't know the rules of the game, right? And you're talking absolute shite. No, but you don't. You don't. Because initially I said on Saturday, I thought it hit the top of his chest and then hit onto his arm,
Yep.
right? And then play continues. So it wasn't an intentional handball or striking of the arm. Yes, Tom.
It was intentional.
Can I
Wait,
intervene here?
wait.
Can I intervene here now?
He put his horn out.
Wait a minute.
He
Right.
said himself a handball.
Aye, but hold on a wee second, because Ewan's saying here that it hits his chest and then...
That's
goes
what
on
I
his
thought.
arm, right? Now, in my opinion, and I'm not 100% certain on the
for
rules,
fuck
right? I think if you gain an advantage from that, it's still a foul.
It's not. It's not, because only if that moment, that exact moment, even if it struck his chest and hit the arm and he scores, Callum McGregor's perfect example of that, right? Remember that goal was disallowed in the opening game against...
Against, the one that he turned
St.
around
Mirren.
and volleyed in.
St. Mirren, yes.
Volleyed
Volleyed in. That's different because it led to a goal right at that moment. In that second, it led to him scoring the goal. So this is my point to
There
you,
you go.
Grado, and I think you should go and educate yourself
There you
tonight.
go.
So a
Hurry
wee
up.
bit of homework for you. Go and educate yourself and go and look at the rules when it comes to refereeing decisions and when it comes to the handball situation as well. There's a lot that went on after that handball. Would you agree? There's a lot that's going on.
From the centre of the park
Centre
to the
of the
goal,
park,
it's a good
there's-
10 seconds.
Right,
If
okay.
not longer. There's a lot that's going on.
It's no more than 10 seconds, surely.
Oh, it is, because
Can't even-
Braga's got it. He's
Right.
he's like jockeying with the defender.
Tell me the rules.
And then he passes. You can't then re-referee the game so far back. You cannot. How far
Wait a
back do you
minute,
want to
Ewan,
go? Okay,
the actual rule, the actual rule is 30 seconds.
Right.
VAR is 30 seconds.
Right,
So
no.
they could have went back to...
But you're trying to right. So are you trying to tell me then if the ball hits his chest and then he fucking goes like that and palms
He
it?
never palmed it.
No, I know he never. But that's
Why
what
are you
you're
getting upset?
But that's what you're
But why are you
essentially.
getting-
I'm not getting fucking upset. I'm just trying to tell you if you are telling me that if the ball hits the
Mate,
chest
Cam,
to the
like, you just need to relax.
you fucking changed your mind on Saturday night. You have to.
Did
Fucking idiot.
did I not just tell you that it did strike his arm? I said it struck his arm. Was
Yes.
it intentional?
Was it intentional? He put his
Oh my
arm
God,
out.
Grado.
He put his arm out.
Grado,
He said himself handball.
Yeah, it struck
the
his
Hearts
hand.
commentators were pissing themselves
Right,
at him.
Grado,
Going,
Grado.
They've actually gave it.
You're a
They've gave it.
Grado.
Can you believe I gave it?
Grado, you're a fucking idiot.
Hey, come on now.
I have not said it wasn't a handball. I'm telling you now. First of all, it's not intentional because he's turning his body. Would you want to turn his body with his arms down by his side like a fucking robot? That's not possible. Go and you stand up right now and in a motion of running, turn your body to then collect the ball. You can't run like that. Like a fucking penguin with your fucking arms down by your side. So his arms
Clearly
are
he's
up.
never seen me running.
So it has struck his arm. Now, what I would say is this. First of all, how far back do you want to go? I think there's a lot that's going on up until the goal is scored, so you don't pull it back for that anyway. The referee didn't see it. You can't re-referee the game. The second point I would make here, I think the arm and where it strikes the arm is inconclusive. I think there's more chance of it striking the sleeve area where it's not deemed a handball. It's not hit here. Wait.
In Sky Sports, they laughed. Would you call the English referee that doesn't like the Rangers?
You like him now?
Dermot, what's his face?
Dermot Gallagher.
You like even him? Dermot Gallagher, who never has a good word to say about Rangers, sat there and pissed himself at that decision.
Ewan, see if you can.
His name's Dermot Gallagher.
See if you can't re-referee the game. Why did it go to VAR?
What do you mean?
I didn't actually go to VAR.
I did.
Did it go to VAR?
I did. 100%.
But they never called the referee over to look at it.
No, because they went with the decision with the ref.
Oh, so that's just proved my point, you fucking idiot.
What?
No.
Don't call him a fucking idiot.
That's my point. You're arguing for argument's sake. You're not fucking listening to a word that I've told you.
But
it
you're
was
not making any
inconclusive.
sense. It's not inconclusive.
The reason that the referee was not called to look at the screen because VAR couldn't determine whether or not it was on the arm, and also the distance. But the distance from the ball striking his arm to then the goal being scored. At what point do you drag it back, and how far do you pull it back?
You're an idiot.
Wait a minute, right? Because I want to interject here right now. Let's talk
Where
about
the Rangers go?
Hold on a wee second, Grado, because I want to make a point here.
The referee's dog shite.
See what you're saying there, right? About the distance between in the Celtic and Kilmarnock game, the distance between the guy and hitting another player and hitting him, right? See the distance of that where Lawrence Shankland intercepts it. He's got his eye on the ball. I think it's a deliberate handball, mate.
Oh my God!
I genuinely do.
You're the only guy that's fucking said that is not a handball.
The ball comes
the only guy.
It's a handball. Wait, you're Grant. I know I'm here for the rest of the show, right? But I'm not going to put up with this shit. He's putting words in my mouth, and I have told you clearly it struck his fucking hand. What part of that do you not understand? But it's not his hand. It struck his arm. But where in the arm did it strike him, Grado? Show me.
There.
Right. So that's his sleeve.
That's above the sleeve line, so therefore it's not a handball.
I meant there.
If you've been in an accident, it's not your fault. Get yourself onto G4 Claims. G4 Claims will deal with your claim from start to finish. If you've banged your motor up in a terrible way, you will get a replacement car. Like for like, if you've got a belter, you'll get a belter.
Yep,
if you've got a shanner.
Yep, so listen, get this number into your contacts list. You never know when you might need it. Hopefully you don't, but if you do, give them a call on 01698 767 172, and as Toll says, Nicole and the team will look after your case from start to finish. And by the way, if you end up recommending a pal to G4 Claims, you could get £50 in your back pocket, which is sublime. So
also, if you're mad with the anxiety and you don't like to talk to folk on the phone, get yourself onto notatfaultclaim.com and you can just send them a wee cheeky message on WhatsApp instead of talking to them.
G4 Claims, Not at Fault Claims, made easy. Let's give a big thanks to CBD Oil Scotland, cbdoilscotland.com. If you've never tried CBD oil, you need to get to this place because it is hands down the top CBD in the country, whether you suffer from anxiety, any ailments, if your dog is affected by the fireworks season that's about to come upon us. Canimal, you know?
I know.
But that's about to happen.
I'm going to need to get the Canimal back in actually because it works an absolute treat. But also, if you buy anything from cbdoilscotland.com, you will get entered into a draw to win a holiday to Tenerife, all inclusive.
Yep.
This time, all inclusive. So what you do is you use the code APATS, you get 50% off your order.
Is it 50%?
I think it's 50%.
That's unreal.
I think it is.
That is unreal.
See if you get any less than 50%, don't come to my door for your 20%.
But listen, CBD oil, over the years, great prices. And again, do you fancy a bit of winter sun with CBD Oil Scotland? Get onto the website, have a wee perusal, look at the different products. It's oils, it's ointments, it's moisturisers. It's if you want to smoke it, you want to vape it, the full lot. Get to cbdoilscotland.com because it's CBD oil you can trust.
But by the way, they don't do vapes on it.
So, right, hold on. What about the other refereeing decision? Is that a goal? Of course it's a goal. It's not even a question the referee getting any protection. Nobody touched him.
The boy's hand on it.
See, you're wrong. You're wrong. Rangers should have had a goal there for 1-1.
See if you actually watch it, the goalie pushes Asgard.
Correct. So for me, that's a goal. If that is given against me, I am raging and thinking, oh, there we go, we're at Ibrox, that's the usual. But that's a goal for me. I do think the penalty's soft. I'm being honest. I think it's soft. There is contact, but it's soft.
I was watching the Rangers commentary, and the Rangers commentary said that it shouldn't have been a goal.
Did they say it shouldn't have been a goal? That's a goal.
Well, Hearts TV. Shout out to them, by the way.
One of the TV.
They were giving me a giggle. See the Hearts.
They were funny.
They were brilliant.
They were funny because when my Rangers stopped working, I went on to Hearts. But anyway, what was I going to say? They said that, I don't know what player it was. Was it maybe Asgard or was it
Asgard?
Or whatever?
He pushed Asgard.
They actually had his hand on the goalie's throat.
Again, not enough for that goal to be disallowed.
No, having your hand on somebody's throat isn't a foul.
Not in the sense that you're suggesting. It wasn't anywhere near as bad as you're suggesting.
Killed you.
Right.
So it should have been a goal for Rangers for 1-1.
Diamond never touched them. Not, if he did, that is inconclusive. That is never a penalty. He never touched him.
There was slight contact. He tripped him.
No.
The guy's going at some two. It only takes a wee time.
The 2 years of them are fucking nothing.
It was
at least accept
the free ref. I just agreed with you on the handball.
Take your fucking Celtic bonnet off for one.
I'll take your fucking bonnet right off and out.
Who you talking to?
Who you talking
to? Right.
Come on. The free referee. They have absolutely.
Wait. I'm just going to ask 3 questions and we'll move on. Okay. Toll.
Yes.
Does it strike his arm, and should the goal have been disallowed?
Is this a yes or no?
Yes or no?
It does strike his arm, but the goal should have been disallowed.
Okay, Grado.
Because I think he gets an advantage.
He strikes his arm. He says it's handball himself. He doesn't celebrate it. The whole country's laughing at Scotland once again because my refereeing's fucking brutal. It's a goal. It's not a goal.
It strikes his arm, but for me, it's inconclusive where it struck his arm.
Right, can I ask you a question?
So the goal should stand.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think the referees are trying to get rid of Russell Martin?
Second question, should the goal have stood at the Rangers' corner?
Yes.
No.
It should have.
I agree. I think
I've watched it about many times. I still can't see.
No, that goal should have stood.
Aye.
Was it a penalty, Toll?
Yes.
Grado?
It was not a penalty.
For me, it was a penalty. Soft, and if it was against me, I'd be raging like Grado. I think most fans would agree with that.
Basically, what I'm saying here is it should have finished 1-0 to Hearts. First goal shouldn't have counted. Rangers shouldn't have.
But anyway, what about the Hearts fans singing "Sacked" in the morning and then practically the full Rangers support backing them up? And
that was unreal. I've never seen anything like it.
Come on, man!
I've never seen it. Tell me a time where that's happened before.
That's insane.
Tell me a time. Can anyone think of a time where the opposition fans start singing about sacking the manager and then the home fans jump in and join in?
I don't think that's ever happened, has it?
No.
I can't think of a time.
It'll be alright now because they've been to Loch Lomond, they'll go to Time Capsule tomorrow, they've got paintballing on fucking Thursday. You know what I mean? My on bonny bangs and my on bonny brave.
I thought it was one of those fucking...
What the fuck?
I thought it was misinformation, disinformation. I just thought somebody on the wind-up when I heard. I didn't think it was true.
I genuinely thought it was a meme.
So did I. I couldn't believe it.
That guy is a fucking walking, talking meme, isn't he?
Aye. Fucking Russell Rogan get in. Called water swimming. Who wants to do that?
And did you see the letter from Mikey Moore's mum? Why couldn't he go swimming?
What, is he got a verruca? He plays football.
He makes his armbands.
He plays football with his get feet full of fucking verrucas.
But someone had written a letter.
Really?
A bit of fun.
I've missed all the banter because
the banter's been top notch.
I've missed half it because I just think just absolutely.
And see
laughable.
the AI pictures of Tavernier and his wings and all that stuff and his rubber.
I mean, why? I mean, listen, Scotland has many great escapes, right? Why go to the fucking number 1 on TripAdvisor? At least go to some fucking quarry. A quarry in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, right? It's like, come on. Did they know that they were all going to get... And what the best thing, they're walking up the mountains with their trainees. Do you know what? One of them, I bet you one of them goes, fuck man, go all day hill walking, no one to play. They've got down tools for them anyway.
Stevie Clifford said on his podcast as well that they had a night out planned for Saturday and they get cancelled.
Do you think Aaron's will ever see the light of day again?
Nah. And it's a fact. No, see, yesterday it was all being talked about. Going to Loch Lomond.
Is it funny?
It was just like, I was thinking like a school trip when the coach turns up. Do you know what I mean? When you're a wee boy and you go to Loch Lomond or
beat a wee
somewhere,
packed
and you
lunch,
eat packed lunch. I just see a line of them coming off with their rubber, like their mask and all that
The
stuff.
big giant duck for them to sit.
Hey, taking their fucking pocket money with the wee necklace thing with the tube full of money.
A bucket and spade.
You know what I mean?
One of the wee wooden fishing poles.
But I mean,
They're sat by the shore blowing up fucking rings and all that stuff and a wee inflatable.
Raskin would definitely eat his packed lunch before he go there, didn't he?
but do you know
a
how
disposable barbecue.
But do you know
From
how
Tesco, they can only cook 2 burgers at a time,
Aye,
and they're all stood in a queue with their wee buns waiting for their burger.
But do you know, I think they were all been sitting in that bus going, what the fuck are we doing? Where are we
It
going?
might have been a surprise. Can you imagine? Goes, boys, I've got a surprise for you. We're going for a wee day out.
Oh, hey, I bet you were going to Glasgow Airport. I bet we're going to fucking a beefer for a couple
No,
of
no,
nights
no, no. Maybe we're going to the airport to say churro to Russell Martin.
Aye. I think that is our. Remember, use with Dubai.
Aye.
That's that. That's just going to be.
I remember,
People-
remember we went to Dubai during COVID and
Yeah,
got
I
mad with it. Remember? Fucking Scott Brown and all that, just getting fucking tore right into the duty free.
But just like, but see, you're talking about Mikey Moore there. There's another one, right? This is not. Look at what was the Man United player that played with Rangers?
Ahmad.
He came up here, Ahmad again. These boys that are probably going to come up here and go, oh, this would be a good experience for me. This
Be
is
easy.
great. This will be easy peasy. And they just, I mean, that
Never is.
that boy will have nightmares about that
See-
first 45 minutes again. This is not, we are not a team, this isn't a league for these sort of,
Players.
for these sort of
Fancy
projects.
sand dancers.
Aye.
See, with the exception what did you call him? Fucking, right, you'll say his name when I ask this. It's Stephen Davis, right? Can you tell me one relatively high profile player that's came from England to Scotland and actually done well?
What, like on loan?
Even on ones,
Robbie
you
Keane
could
did
say
well.
Robbie Keane and Craig Bellamy.
Bellamy were good.
Bellamy done good.
Would you say Defoe was a success?
How long ago is that?
Defoe was a
I would
success.
say Defoe was a success. Aye, I would say Defoe.
Defoe,
was,
maybe.
I'm
Maybe
trying
aye.
to try to think.
That's a good question.
Rothwell for 3 minutes on Saturday. Then he get fucking
Come off the bench, I was like, oh, see, this is a boy.
And did
This
you hear
is
the
a boy.
groan? Did you hear the groan? It
When he
was
passed
off.
out the park.
What about
That's a good question. I'm trying to
Vladimir Weiss done all right?
Well, Vice for Man City. Would you call him Samaras when he come up?
I would argue that Vladimir Weiss wasn't a high profile one. I'm talking
No, but
They've got a name.
He's came from Man City, but
I
I know, but there's loads that have come up from Man
Like,
City.
we've got that boy now, that Simpson Pussy from
Aye.
Man
But
City. And
let's fucking think of the ones that haven't worked out. Franny Jeffers, James Beattie.
Oh my
fucking,
God, there's a few.
Carlton
Carlton
Ramsey,
Cole.
Carlton Cole.
Carlton Cole, aye.
What'd you call
Kazim Richards.
Kazim
What about
Richards,
Dion
aye.
Dublin? Was he a success?
Emerson.
Emerson.
Dion
Wright.
Dion Dublin was
Ian
a
Wright.
Dublin.
Ian Wright was alright, was he not?
No, he's only
he was-
scored 2
he was-
goals.
aye, he
Wasn't
was
he?
great.
Berkovic,
Berkovic, aye. Who did you say?
Ali Adair.
Ali Adair, for fuck's sake. He was a wee
Was
back up the
Janino a
road.
success, would you say?
I
Only
wouldn't say
played
no.
100 games.
I can't remember who you saying Janino. Holy fuck, I was mad that
In the
back then.
noughties, aye.
Right.
Under Martin O'Neill.
So, right, here's the deal. I feel as if
Russell
we're
O'Neill's
not
what I said.
penetrating Russell Martin here enough, but
You've done enough.
I think Russell Martin was spoken enough about.
right,
fucking
have we
Russell
really?
Martin.
Right,
But everyone
he's
knows.
got right. So, Grant, what do you think? I think the Yanks are in town on Saturday. They'll notice a big difference. I think there'll be about 21,000 Rangers fans there on Saturday night. But as you say, the sundries, the packets of crisps. There's a new tap coming out as well. Nobody's going to buy it. The
Another
Americans
one?
are no daft.
Another
A
new
fourth
tap?
buy. I think the Yanks are going to realise. I know they said at the start we need to stop getting rid of managers, and they've probably looked at it in hindsight and went, right, whoever we put our trust in, we need to stick with him. But it's
And I
fell
put my
off a
hand-
cliff.
And I put
drama.
my hand up here. See, when the takeover went through, and all yous went like, "Are you worried about it?" And I said, "No, because absolutely fuck all is going to change."
Well,
Here's my question to you as a Rangers fan. The fallout from the defeat to Hearts, for the first time ever,
I fucking hate you.
for the first time ever, the Rangers fans didn't care about the shocking VAR decisions that you were describing earlier.
We would be in uproar this week. Nobody's giving a shit.
Nobody's giving a shit because it's all about Russell Martin and how poor you've been and you've only
If
you haven't
anything,
won
the
a
poor
game.
VAR decisions help your fucking cause.
Aye.
Correct, and that's what a lot of Rangers fans are saying. You've done us a favour, Ewan, because we might get rid of him.
Aye.
But obviously, he's been given the support.
He didn't even want.
So-
he didn't even want me here anyway. I mean,
Grado.
what was that about? That was a bit like
Grado.
you're not going to your granny's this weekend. I didn't even want to go. When it was like Wayne.
Aye, Grado. Do you want Hibs to beat you if you got rid of Russell Martin?
No.
Nah, because he's going to go anyway. I would be.
No, that's wrong.
Grant,
That's
but he's
wrong.
got a good right. Obviously, you don't want to turn it around and say you want your team to be beaten, right? However, that any result in the next couple of games is going to paper all the cracks.
It's no.
There is,
The fans are away. He could win 10 games
that's
in a
what
row.
I mean.
Wait. No. See, I think you're wrong there.
disagree with
If
that,
Rangers
so.
beat Hibs and beat them well, and they're in the semi-final of a cup, and then they go and win in Europe the following week in the Europa League, and then they win their next league game,
Iggy's the
and let's
Yanks
just say Celtic slip up somewhere, and it drops to 6 points instead of the 9.
That's the thing with the whole Glasgow Goldfish Bowl. You're only one result away from being terrible, and you're only one result away from being the best
brilliant.
players
But I think Grant's right here. I think it doesn't matter.
Hey, you're wrong.
No,
Colin,
I agree with you in here. See if
I'm not wrong.
If Rangers go on a
We're
run,
Rangers
If
fans.
you're
We're
gonna
watching
run-
it.
I know, but if
No,
what I'm
forget
saying
it.
is if Rangers go on a run,
Well, no,
Correct.
but
But
If
they're not
you-
going to go on a run.
Wait. If you win in the cup, you win in Europe, and you win in the league, in your next 3 games.
doesn't matter.
But the problem is nobody's
Doesn't
going to
matter.
Ibrox to
I'm
watch
telling
it.
you right now, it doesn't matter.
Do you know they've really severely undersold their European packages? That is going to cause mega alarm bells to the Yanks.
So
100%.
you want Hibs to beat them to end the suffering.
You can't ask us that, but what you will say is
Small
if they do
term.
beat us,
Wait. Small term pain for long term gain. That's the way to look at it. So you want them to lose on Saturday.
no,
Hibs
I would never want Celtic to
Hibs
lose.
have not got a great defence in it, you know.
They're a good side.
You're
though.
asking,
They're a good side,
you're
but
asking
an
the
attacking
question
team,
that they
yeah.
asked Ange Postecoglou
That'd be
last year.
shitty.
Remember when Spurs were playing Arsenal,
Yes,
and if Spurs won, Liverpool would go on to win the league.
correct.
Do you lie down? No, sorry, what was it? It was the other way about.
No, because if Spurs beat Arsenal, sorry, no. What was it again? No, if Spurs.
No, it was Spurs v
Arsenal-
Liverpool.
Aye.
It was Spurs v Liverpool, and they're saying, do you want Spurs to lie down so that Arsenal don't win the league?
And all that stuff, yeah.
And
It was Man
Ange's like,
City.
are you-
They were playing Man City, remember? And Son went through 1-on-1 in the goalkeeper. And they were going, would you lie down against Man City?
No, because Man City weren't involved.
Man
It was
City.
Liverpool and Arsenal.
Right.
So it was
The point
against.
being, though.
The point being, it doesn't matter who you're playing against or what the outside noise is. You want to watch your team winning, regardless of
Of what it may,
Do you know-
of what may happen,
Watch
and what
us,
the
he's gonna turn around
consequence.
and go, nah, I want to see he's getting fucked 5-1 after
Aye,
Hibs at the weekend.
fucking bring it on.
I think there'll be
What
Rangers.
Hibs?
I actually think there'll be Rangers fans out there, and quite a few thousand that will want Hibs to get to do yous on Saturday.
I mean, right, see if you right. I know we're repeating ourselves here, but just to overall look at this again, right? Russell Martin, we don't look as if there's anything there. We're actually getting worse. We're going backwards. Our best player is sitting in the fucking stands. There is absolutely 100% unity in the fans wanting rid of him. There is absolutely no way back for this guy. I'm telling you right now, he has to go. He has to go. Get him out, Sharon.
What's the Union Bears turn that?
There is so many points to this that it's unreal. You just don't know where to start with it all. It's incredible. We're 10th. We're fucking going to
5
survive.
games.
We're lucky if we fucking.
Do you think you can keep you
We're
up?
in a relegation battle.
Do you think you can keep you up?
You know what I mean?
Do you know we could,
Is that no unreal?
we could actually be last by the next time we play a league game?
If Aberdeen win 4-0 or something like
I think Dundee need to win or something.
Anyway,
that, who gives a fuck?
let's. What time is it in real life?
It is 8:10.
Jesus. Right,
10
so
past 8.
what we're doing here, will we go into the.
We'll need to move on to the Patreon now because I've got a fucking job to be doing in an hour.
Aye, as well.
Plus, they
51
two are
minutes.
doing my nothing.
Ewan, I'm so glad that we never even spoke about the Celtic penalty. Catch you tomorrow.